Cow car. Dan's here. Maybach. Kukromi. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Sponsored by Adams Immersive. Get your Playtime app now at itch.io. Doop, doopity doop, doopity doop. 3, 2, 1, and big face! What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing? Let's check these audio levels here. I think I can bring music down just a wee bit. Can't jump scare. What's going on, Axo? What's going on, Pajama, Jomata, Gubbubs, Jabronis, SN Studio? All the greats are here. We have some new chatters, new first timers. Maybach, Chromie, Dan, how you doing? Pyro Don. What's going on? Pyro Don called you out, GovBubs. Of course, SN Studio is the creators of Tochi. 1 and 2. Wow, look what I did there. Visual effects hair. How's everybody doing? Nanobot, thanks for following. Shademonger, thanks for following. So glad to be here. I have been chasing down Gingerbeardman, aka Matt Sephton, for a while now. I want to tell you guys that, of course, I discovered him from Daily Driver back in the dev forums, and I know he was always active there. But to be completely honest with you, I fell in love with Gingerbeardman through tweets from Cable, believe it or not, because I started seeing him a lot there, and it was there that I discovered that he has such a huge past in gaming in general, specifically rare handheld video games. I discovered his blog that he had. I'm going to ask him all about it, and we'll bring it up in a second, but I fell into a world of like reviews of rare games I've never heard of, and he has such great passion behind all of these games that he was reviewing. And of course, he's an amazing Playdate developer, but I'm connecting to him on that level too. So I'm very excited to meet him. I'm sure that's not the main thing he wants to talk about, but we're definitely going to dive into it because that's what makes one of the things I love most about him. So enough of me. Oh, before we bring him in, there are a couple quick things we got to blast. Today is the final day of the Playdate Desk Makeover Championship. Final day. It's the final day. You have until midnight to submit your coffee cup that matches the Playdate. It is such an easy and fun contest, that you should definitely join into. All you got to do is drop a link in Twitter or my Discord, which I'll drop in chat right now. Boom! Also, if you guys are curious about shipping and you're completely out of the loop, you can do this command. Hey, shipping command, it's there. So, seriously, join in on this contest. It's so fun. You just got to find a coffee cup that matches the Playdate as best as possible. Be creative. Stay on brand. Yellow and purple, duh. But maybe you're going to find something more creative. Zanya Lasagna and Pajama Torture and I are the judges. We will be judging tomorrow. The winner will be released tomorrow. Oh my God. Doc dropped something. Let me finish my thought and then I'm going to get to Doc's amazing post. The second thing I have to tell you about before we bring in Matt is that I've been doing some good maintenance on the Discord. I've added a museum where we're going to start posting all the show flyers, kind of like band flyers, collecting them. And I've also started the trophy case. The trophy case is where we're going to be showing off all of our community achievements that we've done as a show. Everyone that's gotten their name in a video game, in a Playdate video game. For example, if you were here, Whitewater Wipeout, we got, I think, 5 or 6 people in that game through witty Wipeout messages. They're in the credits. And then we just had Strangest.io on the show, and we are now going to be in Waste Braver. So we have the trophy room. I should rename it Trophy Room, not Trophy Case. And also, on top of that, so much more is starting to happen in the Discord. So come say hi, come join us. Have a good time. Let's bring in Matt, and then I will also view together whatever Dr. Steal Your Face just posted. Matt, I'm going to take you off mute. Here we go. Prepare yourself. And you are now off mute. And now it's going to be, you have to live the embarrassing moment that I live every day where I blast your big face right in front of everybody. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There's no easy way to do it. Boom! There he is! Yay! What's going on, Beardless man? I too recently shaved.
Yeah.
How's it going?
Everybody expects me to have a ginger beard, but I've never have. I just ate a lot of gingerbread. And I thought to myself, maybe if I eat enough of it, my beard will turn ginger. But
wait, so that your name started from gingerbread, and then you just added beard for the fun of it?
Just for kicks. Yeah.
I love it. Very creative. I wouldn't expect anything more from you. First thing we got to talk about is, what does your shirt say?
So this is Yahoo Auctions, Yahoo Oku, because I buy so much crap from Japan. I mean, really good stuff from Japan. So I figured that I'd better have a T-shirt that says it, and it's kind of Playdate yellow as well.
I love it. Right, very on brand. Very, very on brand. And
thank you,
ladies and gentlemen, a great example in front of us. He has submitted to the contest. If I remember correctly, you submitted a very a sort of handmade coffee cup. Yeah. Am I right? With the perfect rim.
Of like a maker vibe.
Yes.
As Bub said, it's kind of got a maker vibe. It looks handmade, but it's manufactured.
Great.
But it's
I love
a nice
it.
mug. I'd drink from it.
Yeah, I want all of these mugs. Yeah, I was just playing Bloom and having coffee one day, and very upset that my cup did not match my Playdate. I wanted to take a picture, and here's me playing Bloom and next to a pretty coffee cup, but I didn't have one. So this contest will solve all of that.
Absolutely.
Man, let's get started. Where do we start? I'm so excited to have you here. Let's open.
It's been a while, hasn't it?
Yes, it's been a while. We've gone back and forth. It's mainly my fault. My schedule. I'm still very heavy into being a dad, but that's going to ease up a little bit. Matt is not easing up anytime soon. Yeah, exactly. No, mine goes to daycare soon, so I'll at least have like 3 days that I can focus on the show a little bit more. So Dr. Steal Your Face in chat has been recently into AI generated images like the world. He is in a beta of, what is it called? Mind? I forget what it is. Anyway, let's check this out. He created a cow car. Oh my God, let's bring this up. This is gorgeous. Hold on a second. And let's go into Matt watch mode. 3, 2, 1. Oh my God, look at that gorgeous image. Hold on a second. It's a little messed up. You guys are only seeing a sliver of it. I don't know why, but I know. Let's do this. Let's do this here.
Yeah, I can see a hole.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Look at that cow car. All right. Oh, look, you even got like little you got a bonus Tron cycle in the background from that AI generated image. Mid-Journey, sorry, is what he used. All right. So, why don't you introduce yourself first, and then we're going to jump into your story. Tell me about yourself in your own words, and then we'll go from there.
I mean, most people know me by this Gingerbeardman name, but my name's Matt. That's what everybody calls me. And I got my first computer when I was about 11. Started programming it shortly after, and that was the beginning. I remember the day specifically. I was around my friend's house, and he showed me a Super Nintendo, and I was, blew my mind.
Oh,
To
yeah.
see F-Zero for the first time, it completely blew my mind. But then I think he had maybe 2 games, and I said, "Well, do you have any more games?" He said, "No, these are really expensive. We've only got these 2." He said, "But we've got a computer next door. You can come and take a look at that. We've got some games for that." So he took me back into their lounge, and he showed me this computer, and he put a disc in, he switched it on, and instead of loading the game, it crashed.
Oh,
and it
no.
went to the desktop.
Oh, no, we need a hero.
He grabbed the mouse and moved it across the desk, and I just said, "Stop, what are you doing? What is this?" He said, "Well, that's a mouse." I said, "And what are these things?" They're icons, files, discs. And it just completely blew my mind. And I remember distinctly, it was like a red kind of carpet rolling out in front of me. I didn't know really what it was, but I just knew that this was it.
Oh, that's
And
great.
that was the beginning. That was the beginning for me.
And how old were you again? Was 12?
I'm 45 now, but I was 11 or 12 at the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel quite lucky to have kind of found what I wanted to do that early in life.
Yeah.
I kind of did a lot of different things, program software, shareware it was called back then, whereas now you sell it on itch.io, and but it was essentially the same thing, but you'd have to take payments by postcard or check.
Man. Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy. I fell into web development when I discovered the internet. So I was a web developer for a long time.
Yep.
Worked for.
What was your first ISP? Do you remember? I actually was in the UK when I got my first computer.
Okay.
I was on MSN or something like that, I think.
Right. I think we just had British Telecom, which is kind of like the standard in the UK.
Yeah.
But I remember it was a big deal when we got our first modem.
Yeah.
And we could dial up, and I mean, I dread to think how slow those files were coming down, but it was just normal at the time. And
right.
We were downloading Doom. I remember that was probably the first big thing that we downloaded.
Let's get into gaming. Tell me about your gaming childhood, as much as you can remember.
So it was, my dad had a Spectrum, so we did a bit of gaming on the Spectrum. Then we got an Acorn Electron, which was kind of like a BBC Model B. So that was another 8-bit computer. Whoa, did some gaming on that.
Okay.
But it never really caught my attention. The Super Nintendo is where it happened for me.
Oh yeah.
Gaming wise, F-Zero just blew my mind. When the track, the camera comes down, you see the track, and you think, oh, it's going to be a top-down racer, and then it just goes and tilts, and I just thought, wow, this is like nothing I've ever seen before.
100%.
So that was my birthday's really near Christmas, so I kind of always put the two presents together to get something a little bit bigger than normal.
Nice.
So yeah, well, kind of lucky. So Super Nintendo that year with Pilot Wings and F-Zero.
Ooh. Oh, you got into Pilot Wings on the Super Nintendo. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. That was good.
I didn't catch that until 64.
Oh, wow, okay. Yeah, I think I played the N64 version quite late because I never had an N64, so I probably only played it a handful of years ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had computer on one side where I was making these programs for doing. Started with things like printouts, and then I got into programming the graphical user interface, do that side of things, and then on the other side was just playing games.
Yeah.
And then I thought, well, if I'm playing games and I'm making programs, then why don't I make a game? So the first game I remember making, I'd seen Gorillas on a DOS computer, where you have a cityscape, and you have a gorilla each side, and you throw a banana at each other.
Oh,
and it kind of,
okay.
It's kind of like Worms or Scorched Earth, if you're familiar with either of those.
Yeah, I love Worms. I was a big old Worms fan.
So I think Worms got a lot of its ideas from that kind of game. And I made one which I called Balance of Power, because at that point I'd never seen a Macintosh. I didn't know there was a Macintosh game called Balance of Power. So I called my game Balance of Power, and it was just a landscape. My maths teacher, there we go, yeah. My maths teacher at the time thought it was really odd that I was asking him these really advanced equations to track the trajectory of a projectile.
Oh my gosh,
I showed
that's so
no
great.
interest in math at all.
You're asking your maths teacher. Oh, that's awesome. I love that, man.
So I'd seen that, and I didn't have a PC at the time, so I made my version for the Atari ST, which was my first computer.
Damn. Okay, how old are you then when you're making your first game?
Maybe 13, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Look at this. This is awesome.
Yeah, it's fun.
There it is. The first throw. Yeah. Legendary. Historical.
Mine was
throws it over the sun. Oh, that's awesome.
Mine didn't have skyscrapers. Mine just had a kind of I used a Bezier curve to draw the landscape.
Okay.
But I had little castles, and that's where it started for me. I don't think I ever finished it. I got it to a playable state, but I didn't really do anything with it.
Okay.
It was so difficult to distribute software back then.
Oh yeah.
But I just, I sent it off to a magazine, but they didn't feature it, and then you just move on to the next thing. So that was that.
Nice.
I did dig out a lot of my old Atari stuff. When I discovered the internet, I would just search for all of the stuff I was interested in, games, music, anything that came to mind. And you would find stuff. You'd find other people like you that was into the things that you were into.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I found a group of people who were really into the Atari ST, and there was a particular emulator that had just been released at that time, so it's probably 95, and the emulator was called Pacifist. So people were really interested into the Atari ST again. So I dug out all of my old stuff, and I'd written a fractal generator. I'd written a kids painting program that was you painted with characters rather than pixels. I'd done a menu system, and then I was developing for a Windows PC at that point. So I was doing things like little notepads and calendar reminder programs.
Right.
Kind of stuff like that.
What was your very first online game? Multiplayer online? Because you mentioned Doom. I remember my first.
No, I never played that online. Yeah. That was too early, really. It was the Dreamcast. That was my first online game.
Hey, how about that?
Oh,
It's funny
quite
that a
late.
console brought you to your first online.
Yeah.
Was it Choo Choo Rocket, the very first
I did play that.
online Dreamcast game?
But the first game, I did play that. I played that. I played Ooga Booga, which was one of my favorites online, which was kind of like a game of tag, and there's football in there, and you can ride wild boars and loads of crazy stuff. It's a brilliant game. I don't know if that many people know about it, but
I do not know. I don't know about this game.
it's really, really good fun. And I seem to remember that the development company kind of made it in their spare time so they could all play it in the office, and then someone saw it and said, hang on a minute, if you're all having this much fun, let's release it. So they added the graphics and released it.
Is this like sort of like a battle? Are they battling in this game?
Yeah.
And they
Yeah,
have
they're battling,
weapons,
yeah.
like animals or weapons and power-ups, basically?
That's it. That's essentially it.
Dang, this is advanced for online Dreamcast,
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah, and your modem was 56k back then, so the fact that this ran really smoothly, 60 frames a second online, it's unheard of. You don't even get that today, really, which is kind of ridiculous. But the game that I got online for was everybody at work bought Dreamcasts. So we were working together. This is like the .com boom, where I was working for a web agency, and lots of people were working hard and playing hard, and it was like a big social club. And then we'd all go home and we'd load up our Dreamcasts and we'd hang out online outside of work, and it was Fantasy Star Online.
I was gonna guess that. I was totally gonna guess that. I did the same. I luckily had a good group of Dreamcast friends, and man, we played it so long, so long,
I'm not really
such a long
into
time.
RPGs, but this one, it was the social aspect of it that I really liked. And my friend Chi, who's like the coolest dude you've ever met in your entire life, he said, so you've got to get everything ready for when we go online on Fantasy Star. I said, well, what do you mean? He's like, well, what's your name going to be? Well, it's going to be Matt. No. This is not how it works. You need to think of a futuristic sounding name, because we're going to be in the future later tonight. So I had to.
It's gonna be
I can't
Matt.
remember what it was.
What's your name gonna be?
That was like real peer pressure of trying to come up with a cool futuristic sounding name.
Yeah.
But we hung out and we did quests and we battled monsters and it was good fun.
What was there any sort of like, I'm trying to remember if there were like cosmetics, or what were like the rare items? I think there were like the swords and the armor was kind of what you stuck around for, if I remember correctly.
I think so.
I'm trying to remember what all like the rare stuff was, but anyway,
bigger swords and electric swords. I seem to remember. Yeah.
I remember, I think 5 or 6 or so, like when the internet was first created, I was in some Sega magazine, and there's a small snippet. There's like a huge article about whatever just came out on Genesis or Sega Saturn. There's a small snippet about like the future of gaming, online gaming, and it's like, it was talking about making Phantasy Star Online someday, and it's like, imagine you're with your friends and you see a mountain, and you are able to go to that mountain with your friends. I remember that one paragraph, and I was just like, oh my god, like the future of gaming is going to be amazing. And then it finally came out. We couldn't go to a mountain together, but hey, we're at least inside that mountain. But I remember just like waiting for that day for online gaming to come, and it was Phantasy Star related. Anyway,
I think the game that I did manage to get to the mountain was Breath of the Wild. That was the first game I really remember where you can actually go to whatever you're looking at.
100%.
And I don't play a lot of RPGs. My patience isn't really long enough to play detailed RPGs, but I played most of Breath of the Wild, and then I got to the final castle, and I kind of thought, well, I actually don't want to go in. And I never
happened
went
to
in.
me. That happened to me on the what's the one before Skyward Sword. I made it to the final dungeon, and I was like, I don't know why. I feel like an asshole for saying that because I love Zelda, but sometimes you just get burnt out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the journey, not the destination sometimes.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. So let's talk about, I guess, your first online presence, gaming. Well, no, let's just go straight to your blog that I stumbled upon. I think I found it in a Cable tweet where he was mentioning, I think they were talking about the DSi review videos that he did, and you were in there, and I think you posted a link to your old reviews of some rare Game Boy games. Am I right? Like, what am I talking about? Where's this blog? I want to pull it up.
So, yeah, I mean, strangely enough, it's only in the past couple of years that I've actually had a blog.
Okay.
Before that, I never blogged. I had my own website, but I never sat down and wrote blog posts. And then about 15 years ago, I decided to write reviews for all of my favorite games, just to kind of to practice writing, but also to kind of, maybe hopefully convince one other person to play one of my favorite games. Isn't that why everyone writes reviews, I think? But I wrote a bunch of them. They were all on Tumblr for a while. And then once I set up my blog, so it's blog.gingerbeardman.com. Yeah, there we go.
That's how I get there.
Yeah, so I set this up, and I thought, well, really, I need more than just this week's blog posts.
Right.
What if I troll the internet, I had 3 different Tumblrs, with different content on. So I just exported all of those and kind of spent a weekend importing all of my old content a lot of my old content into this new blog system.
Okay.
And it padded it out, and then I've got old game reviews there.
Yes.
All sorts of stuff. I like to buy stuff from Japan, and I like to research old Japanese developers. For me, Japanese games are the best games, and Japanese developers are the best developers in my mind. So yeah, this is it's a system called the Piece, I mean that's how you're supposed to pronounce it.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean it's a strange logo. Now I'd known about this system for a long time, but I could never find one in Japan that was for sale at the time I was buying other stuff.
Okay.
So it was never cost effective for me to import one. The games that I'd heard of on this were by one of my favorite Japanese developers. Forgive me if I pronounce his name incorrectly, it's Kuniaki Watanabe, and he made a game for the Wii called Maboshi. And it's kind of 3 games in one.
Okay.
You have a circle game where you have to you control the acceleration of your circle, and you have to use physics to jump around and collect things.
Is that in this blog post, or you're just talking about something?
No, but I'd looked at his development history, and he'd done a bunch of games for this piece. So that's why I wanted to buy one to play his early games.
Okay. What does this thing look like? Is it a physical console?
Yeah, so if you click on that first link just in the first paragraph there.
Look at that. Did you see my review of Peace comparing it to the Playdate?
Yeah, so if you scroll down.
Whoa, look at this thing. Oh my god, I didn't realize it was a handheld.
These are Kuni's games. And this is the reason I bought.
Wow. Oh, look at this. This is cool.
Yeah. I mean, he's such a great game developer, and his games they're not traditional games. He's got quite a unique mind, I think.
Oh, dang. Here's a young Giles Goddard right here.
Yeah, these last 2 are by Kenta Cho, who goes by the name ABA Games.
Wow.
So again, just really awesome. And it's kind of like the Playdate before the Playdate existed. I mean, the Playdate is infinitely better. But in 2001, this must have been pretty big deal in Japan.
Dang. I love how intricate you are. Like, this is a true nerd's paradise.
I'm a nerd. Yeah.
I love
if
this.
you hadn't,
This is so great.
So
wow.
yeah, that was a bunch of games that I'd reviewed, and I'd also reviewed my favorite SNES game. And
so how was your
Game Boy
experience with the
Advance
piece that you finally got access to this developer's games? Were you in heaven? Like, were all these games everything you thought they would be?
Yeah, they were.
So
cool. It was really awesome. And then after I published this blog post, I think the used supply of those piece devices disappeared in Japan. The handful that was still available to buy were snatched up by other people, and some of those people, there's a guy on Twitter, Exploding Blood. He made a really big effort to catalog and collect as many of these old games that we could find online before they disappeared forever. And some already have disappeared forever, but he managed to find, a good couple of hundred games for that device.
Wow.
So it's kind of become a viable platform again for people who are into it. You can emulate it, which is what I recommend doing, because the device is a little bit clunky and hard work in this kind of day and age.
How did you actually get the hardware? Was that really difficult?
No, I mean, these days
there's
you can...
plenty of them around still.
Yeah, I did manage to find one.
It's the games that are the problem.
Yeah, the games they were downloads on personal homepages 20 years ago, so the majority of them have gone offline.
Right.
You can find some in Internet Archive, or some on CD-ROMs from the time.
Dang.
But yeah, there's some cool games. But I mean, Playdate blows it out of the water really in terms of every spec.
Right.
And it's so much easier to load your games onto a Playdate. To load things onto that old device, I had to fish out a 20-year-old PC laptop, and it wasn't fun.
Yeah. Where is there a way for me to find? I remember reading a lot of your DSi kind of. I remember reading your favorite, something really your favorite DSi games. Is there a way to find that blog post?
Yeah, so if you go to the URL bar, so if you scroll to the top of any of the pages, you can click on the hashtags. So if you click into one of those blog posts,
okay.
And then click on the hashtag.
Damn, I haven't seen this.
Oh, you're not seeing that?
Oh my god, dude. This is great.
This is kind of.
There's some bots
this is not by me.
Here.
This is a guy I found on Instagram who does these amazing renders.
What?
She needs to do me that render in the style of some old Japanese magazines that I'm obsessed with.
I'm on vacation right now. I need to curl up with your blog and just find some time to read.
So I mean, you can skip through all the pages. They're on maybe or just edit the URL to the page 10 or whatever.
Okay.
I can maybe send it to you in Discord. That's probably the easiest way.
Hold on, I can figure this out now. Boom, here we go. Page 10. Page 10.
Okay, it's even older than that, so maybe try page 14.
I'll just go
because we're looking for, there we go. So they're the last of them. So there's a review from Maboshi Pilot.
Yeah. Hey, Chips Challenge. I have a friend that loves that game.
So that I pulled them out of my video game review blog, and I mean, I've been gaming for the majority of my life, so I just wanted to put down some of my favorites and why they were my favorites, and just that was it really.
I love it. Oh yeah, here, I think I also didn't know, I'm an idiot, and I didn't know what your prototype was based off of.
Okay,
So
yeah.
I also had to research Kurukuru, and there were so many people talking about it, and I was like, what are they talking about?
Yeah, I mean, this is an amazing game. The story of that game is that it was originally supposed to be an arcade game,
Right.
and it was existed as an arcade machine.
Right.
And then somebody from Nintendo visited the developer, who were called Ating, and they saw this game, and they said, "Well, we'd like this for the Game Boy Advance." So they did a version for the Game Boy
really?
Advance, and then it turned into a launch title, or
No
I think
way.
launch period.
Yeah,
So
that's awesome.
I'm obsessed with that game. So I thought I'd do a little version of that to see how it went. And with my prototypes, because Daily Driver, my driving game, is my main focus.
Of course.
These prototypes are just kind of scratching an itch.
Yep.
So I got this working quite quickly, but to do it properly just takes so much more time than to do it quickly.
Yeah. I hear ya.
It's possible to do that game, and it would run at 50 frames a second on Playdate, and it would be super cool. It's just, I don't know if it's cool to remake a game like that.
Right.
It's like recording a cover version of the Beatles. You know, it's why do you need to do it?
Yep.
You know,
Yep. I
just play the
gotcha.
original.
I gotcha. Let's catch up with chat here. I saw some questions for you.
Yeah, go for it.
Let's see. Duncan Beavers, I hope you're still here. Have you done any Mode 7 flavored experiments for Playdate?
I haven't, no. I saw the one that you get with the development kit, which is a little van driving around a Mode 7 environment.
Yep.
I don't know why I didn't go down that route, because it seems obvious to do a driving game with that. But no, I've seen a couple of other people doing really good Mode 7 stuff. There's a couple of F-Zeros in the pipeline, or F-Zero style games in the pipeline.
Yeah.
And then there's a Mario Kart style game. So I think that base is covered by other people. So I'm excited to play those games, because driving games are my number one.
Yeah, 100%. Let's see. Duncan also said, I love the propel with your own projectiles mechanic too. Reminds me of some old grapefruit demos. I think he was probably talking about...
Yeah, I think he was talking about one of Cooney's games there. Yeah, it's just a brilliant concept. Quite an abstract or off-the-wall concept that I hope that he comes to Playdate eventually.
Yeah.
Maybe if he gets one when he's over in Japan. So
have you ever chatted with him? Have you ever reached out to him?
Yeah, I talk with him on Twitter.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
give him a push. Is there anyone else? How about this? Well, hold on. Let me finish chat. My brain's on fire.
Okay.
Those initial write-ups on Daily Driver were really inspirational for rigging Blender as a part of the sprite generation pipeline, says Duncan.
I'm glad. I mean, I've never used Blender. I've only used one pad application, which is the one I still use today. So I'm happy that my kind of Frankenstein workflow has inspired people to do cool stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah, I needed to get my thoughts down, because I was conscious it was going to be a long, protracted development, and I didn't want to forget any of it. So I made lots of notes, kept lots of lists, which are my number one thing, and then just started writing those blog posts when I set up the blog. And I think it was Louis Mantia, who's a friend of mine.
Oh yeah, I see him on Twitter. Yeah.
On Twitter, yeah. He is the guy that kind of got me into the Playdate developer preview. So many thanks for that, Louis.
Yeah, let's talk about that. How were you introduced to Playdate, and what were your first thoughts about it?
So I'm into this Japanese card game called Hanafuda.
Bring that over.
Yeah, I'm into these cards, and it's another one of these early internet things. I thought I was the only Western person into these, for a long time.
Okay.
And then Twitter and meeting people on Twitter, you realize that, you know, you're not alone and there are other people that are into this stuff. And I saw Louis Mantia, he posted he's an amazing icon designer, and he posted some icons that instantly I knew they were symbols from Hanafuda without him, you know, saying as much. So I reached out to him, I said, hey, I started making a Hanafuda game, and that was for Pico 8 at the time. It was around the time we were having our first child, so it was, you know, 6 years or more ago now. So I showed him this old half-finished game, and he said, oh, we should talk about this. And, you know, so we started talking about it. And then he said, can you send me a copy of Edge magazine? And I said, okay, that's a strange request, but yeah, I can. But I think it would be cheaper if you just buy it directly from the publisher, you know. For them to send it to me and then me to send it to you, it just makes no sense. You just buy it and get them to ship it direct. I said, why? He said, oh, you might want to buy a copy. I said, okay, I'll keep my eye out. And it turned out to be the Playdate reveal issue of Edge magazine. And that's why he was asking.
Very nice.
So I've got like a half-finished Hanafuda game that I promised to make for Louis, and I should really finish that.
Is that up anywhere? Do you have any tweet? By the way, you're getting a lot of Hanafuda love in the chat. Looks like you might have some other Westerner friends. We got SN Studio knows Hanafuda. Hey, call me Steam, first time chatter. Hello, Playdate Podcast in the chat. What's going on? Also loves Hanafuda.
So I should finish it. Right now, the game can play against itself. It doesn't have any particular strategy to do that.
Okay.
So I need to hook up the graphics. The reason I stopped doing it is because I'd done all of the logic for the game to play itself. And then I thought, I actually don't know how to do sprites on the Playdate. I thought, okay, I'll do a quick couple of prototypes to learn how to do sprites.
Yeah.
And they became my first prototypes, the little horse racing game, the game where you steer a circle around the screen. And I learned how to do sprites. And then out of the top one there, that game wasn't very fun. I was trying to do a kind of Kuniaki Watanabe style game, but failed miserably. But it kind of felt like driving, and I thought, oh, this kind of feels like driving. What if I make it look like a car? So I made it look like a car, and then it felt more like driving. And then
I know where this is going.
I thought, well, yeah, we're onto something here. So I added real physics to it, and it turned into Daily Driver.
Boom. So.
And then I just.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it turned into Daily Driver, and I thought, well, I'm obsessed with cars. I'm obsessed with video games.
And F-Zero.
I'm obsessed with making video games. So it's kind of all my passions in one. Black and white graphics like the original Macintosh, that's another of my passions. And I just thought, let's do it. And you know, I'm probably going to drop a couple of spoilers now, but you might think, oh, it's a driving game. But it's not really. It's kind of, yeah, you're in a car, but the kind of stuff that you end up doing by the end of the game is stuff that you will never do in a car, or at least if you don't want to get arrested. You know, you're going to be, I think I've mentioned this elsewhere, you know, you can mow the lawn, you can do your grocery shopping in a strange way, you can save frogs from ponds, and it's so, you know,
save
you
frogs
drive
from ponds. I'm
very
excited for that. All right.
Absolutely.
So I'm sure, I mean, I'm not confused, but tell me what's going on with Daily Driver then. We have a tech demo. I guess you are planning on making this a full game with all the stuff that you're teasing to us. What's the status of this? Tell us. We're sweating here.
It's, in the words of friends, we're on a break at the moment, but it's all but it's all but done. I need to pay my musician friend to finish the music. That's the only real outstanding aspect. I need to decide on the final set of levels. That's kind of an admin task for me. But the reason it's not out yet is it was built with leaderboards in mind.
Yeah.
I want people to be able to compete for fastest time, to compete for best score.
Yep.
So it needs leaderboards,
Man.
and for that purpose, it either needs season game, or if there are leaderboards in catalog, then it can work there.
Right.
So that's kind of what I'm holding out for.
Yeah. Strangest.io on our last show were expressing their frustration of wanting that networking API as well, or I assume that's the same thing. Or no.
Well,
no, maybe not.
Not really. I mean, the leaderboards, season games have access to a couple of extra functions that allow them to post and retrieve high scoreboards.
Right.
And that's all I need. Yeah, it would be cool to have network capability to do multiplayer games, online multiplayer games.
I don't foresee that happening in the near future. But yes, at least the leaderboards. That would be.
I think there's a lot to do on Playdate, and there's a lot for developers to discover as well. I mean, think of all of the games that were made before online existed. That's where we are right now. There's a lot of stuff to mine. There's a lot of stuff to create. So I don't personally hunger for it that much, but I can see why some people do, because there would be cool stuff made with online as well. But I'm not in a rush. I've got stacks of ideas that I'll never get around to doing.
Yeah. We're in the Wild West right now. I mean, it truly is a Wild West, especially on itch. I don't know about you. Let's go into Playdate in general. We'll take a step back from you. Right now I am overwhelmed with games. Even in my seat, I'm on week 4, and I don't have too much time to play video games. Probably one reason why I'm overwhelmed, but I feel so happy with the amount of games I have already in week 4. And then if you add itch is the true Wild West. There are so many projects coming every day, and it's so hard to keep up with them all, but that's awesome. I'm very excited that our community is moving forward. What do you love about our community? What do you love about the Playdate? Where do you see the Playdate in a couple years, or where do you wish to see it?
Okay, so I mean, in terms of the community, I'm also stoked by the games that I'm finding on itch. Having been part of the developer preview for a couple of years, there are a bunch of people doing amazing stuff there, but it still felt like a small number of people. So then after the development kit was released, and to see all of these games appear on itch, and we're only months from that point,
It's crazy.
So I've been really enjoying some games made in pulp. And then the latest game I downloaded was Pool.
Oh yeah.
Billiards,
I was just talking to them the other day. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, what I love as well is I have a little bit of money coming in from itch, and the fact that I can use some of that to buy other developers' games. It's it's like free games in a way.
Love it.
And to support other people is like super cool to be able to do that.
Absolutely. Let's jump into chat real quick, and then we'll continue. Let's start with GovBubs. What's going on, Gov? What is the most impressive looking Playdate game in your mind? Haha. Good job.
So, from the season games, it's Zipper.
I can't wait. I don't have it yet.
I mean, that game, it's like somebody tapped my brain and poured out a little bit of my brain and made a game of it.
Some good old
I
brain
love
juice.
it. So, I mean, I love the way it looks because it kind of looks like a classic Macintosh game, I would say. But, that would never have been possible.
Yeah.
So that is my favorite out of the season games. Out of all of the other stuff, which there's a lot of, I can't say I'm aware of all of it. But there's a game that was teased on the forum, on the developer forum, and it was said to be a kind of Myst style game.
Oh yes, I have a vague memory.
Kind of, a scene by scene, mysterious adventure style game.
Let's pull this up. Do you remember?
And I can't stop thinking about it. It's haunting me, that game, and it doesn't exist. It's like just some screenshots at the moment, and I hope I'm not thinking about it too much that I'm kind of gonna.
Who in the chat knows where I can find this? Is it on the wiki or is it still in the dev forum only?
If you go to dev forum and search for Myst, MYST, you'll find it. Yeah.
Got it. Here I go. Let's look at this together.
Mm-hmm.
Together. In the meantime, let's catch. Oh wait, we're here. Myst. Show us this Myst. Prototype for a Myst-like game.
That's the one.
Here we go. Oh, ooh. Hold on, let me make sure everybody's seeing this. Okay, they are. Okay.
So this, I don't know, just the vibe and the mysterious kind of graphics.
I love this.
And,
I know the sky is not finished, but I love the blank sky. Like if they just kept that blank sky, that is like on the moon. Mist on the moon. That's gorgeous.
So this is the one that I just really captured my imagination, and not to put unreasonable pressure on the developer, but I can't wait for this one to come out.
Yeah, if they're even still around. What is the last time you've heard from them?
Yeah, they're chipping away at it.
Okay. Heck yeah.
They're chipping away.
Here's a cool guy. Oh, you're a mod. I didn't know you're a moderator in the forum. Very cool. Yeah, I love the minimalistic quality of it. This is gorgeous. All right.
It's like, I'm getting kind of 2001 Space Odyssey kind of
100%.
vibes.
Oh, this
mysterious monoliths and gates and paths. And so, I want that to take me to some amazing places.
Totally.
So I really like that. And then the Mode 7 games, P Racing.
Oh, yeah, P Racing was great.
Looks unbelievable. The other Mode 7 games, there's a kind of F-Zero or F, I think it's called. That looks really good. If you put a car in it, I'll love it more than another game. So
that's the key to your heart.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. So Zipper, we have Zipper, and awesome. I think we've answered that question. Let's continue in chat. Give me a second. I've watched Summer Wars a million times with the kid. Hanafuda is life. Ooh.
Yep.
I don't know. I
So,
have no idea what Summer. Wait. So does he do film?
Summer Wars is an anime movie that features Hanafuda as one of the main elements of the film.
I gotcha.
Yeah. I actually run the Hanafuda Discord server, so if you're really into Hanafuda, then you can pop along to that and meet a lot of more like-minded.
I think you can snag 2 or 3 people in here to join your Hanafuda Discord for sure.
Yeah, see, this looks
snow.
insane. I mean,
when I saw this snow, I just geeked out hardcore.
Yeah.
So did good old Donald right here.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, this looks gorgeous for sure.
So that looks great.
Also from Duncan, you do a lot of experiments. How do you validate them? Is it mostly how it feels personally, or do you seek out feedback? Oh, damn. That's a good question.
That is really good. It's purely personal. I've got a very short attention span, I think, when it comes to my own games. So I only work on the main gameplay interaction, and I just work on that until it's fun. And if it never becomes fun, then I just throw it away and do another
Right.
one.
Right.
It's only when I've finished that I think, okay, now let's try and think about a scenario. Let's try and think about how I can kind of stretch the gameplay out and introduce some cool elements. But until the core kind of loop is fun, it's not really worth proceeding with. So yeah, a lot of the prototypes, like the Kururin one, I did it, it worked. And then I thought, do I really want to remake one of the greatest games ever? No. That one got ditched. Then there was a ski one. That was fun, but again, I don't have time to work on all of these ideas. So that was just, how quickly can I do that, and how does it feel?
Well, you better complete Daily Driver.
Yeah, I will.
That's all I gotta say.
And then there was the Mahjong Solitaire game. And that was one that I put a lot more effort than my normal prototypes into, but I still lost interest.
No.
When the programming became too tricky, probably.
Yeah, I think this in general, it's sort of a creative person's downfall is staying interested.
Yeah. So I put that to one side, and then every now and again it would come back in my mind, and I thought, God, those tiles were really nice that I drew for that, and it looked really good, and I kind of want to play it myself.
Hand it off to somebody else if there's anybody else that's interested. I don't know if you do that, but that's one cool thing I'm seeing happening in our community is...
Yeah, I mean, what I do is I share images on Twitter. I'll share an animation on Twitter and gauge the response by that, or I'll put it on Discord or in the forum. And a lot of my blog came out of my big forum thread, where that's where all my Daily Driver posts originally were.
Right.
So then I put my prototypes in there, and people would, give it some online validation, and that would clue me in as to whether it was worth giving more time to. But at the end of the day, I can't really work on more than one thing at once.
Yeah. 100%.
I don't have the capacity to do that.
Right.
And there's only enough time in my life to do a certain number of projects. So you just it's hard to pick the one to do.
Right.
But with the solitaire game, I just kept coming back to it, and I thought, you know what? I'm just going to see if anybody else is interested in finishing it. So I put.
So what is this solitaire game you speak of?
It's called Sparrow Solitaire, and
okay.
I found somebody in the Playdate Squad Discord server, Mac Vogelsang, and he said, "Yeah, I'm interested in finishing that for you." So we had a chat about it, and I'd seen his previous game that he'd done, which was inspired by a Nintendo DSi game, which I was familiar with. And he'd done a really good version of that.
Ooh, where can I pull that up? Where can I pull that up?
So that's on his itch page. So if you go to vogelscript.itch.
Boom. Oh yeah, here we go. Which game are we? Are we talking about Fish and
Feathers?
Oh yeah, 100%. Which, by the way, is part of some reproductive rights bundles right now. Here you go, right here. Oh, here it is. So contribute if you don't have this game yet. A wonderful bundle. Let me make sure everyone can see that correctly. They can. So yes, please continue. How did you two meet? You just met. I think you literally just.
Yeah. So I'd seen a version of this game, and he responded to my message on Discord, and we had a little chat, and I asked him maybe a couple of questions about how he'd created this game and what were the tricky bits and things like that.
Right.
And I just really liked his responses, and he had some ideas for the Mahjong Solitaire game.
Okay.
And I thought, I think this is the guy, and I gave him the source code, which
Yeah.
I'd done quite a bit on, got up to a certain point,
Uh-huh.
and then he just ran with it. It's been an absolute pleasure to see him work on it, and I continued to do the graphics. We designed the game together and made decisions about how the game should work together, about the interface, about thinking up how we can use the crank,
Yep.
how to make it a Playdate game rather than just another version of Mahjong Solitaire, because there are probably thousands of versions of Mahjong Solitaire, and we want ours to be the best, basically.
Hey.
I played so many Mahjong Solitaire games. Yeah, they're coming out of my ears. I've got a stack of them here on my shelf. So, yeah, he's done amazing work, Mac has, and after this stream, we're gonna launch it.
Oh my gosh, for real. You're going to launch it today.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, would you like to take a look at it? Should we show anything?
I've seen it before.
Shall we reveal some stuff to our wonderful friends in chat?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. Heck yeah. Oh man, it's an honor. But you know what? I'm a little scared. I know how to play solitaire, but I did not know it was Mahjong Solitaire.
Yeah, I mean, don't worry about anything. You just match the tiles.
All
The
right.
tiles are laid out in a pile or in a pattern. You can only match the tiles that are free, which means that they have the longmost edges
Yep.
open or uncovered. Yeah.
Ooh, what a great sound that is. Give me a second. Let me fix the window here. What a delight. We are going to get a look at a new game. Shall we unwrap it together?
Yeah.
I'm so happy.
3, 2,
1.
1.
Oh, I love this. Sparrow Solitaire. Oh my gosh, it even has an early access word down there. Look at that cute little sparrow. I remember you posting these on Twitter, and these animations were just so gorgeous. Let's dive in. I gotta press A. Here we go. I'm pressing A. So excited. Oh, look at that. I don't even care. I just like the background. All right, hold on a second. Let me turn off the music here. This music is a freaking delight already. All right, here we go. Oh my gosh, I love this music. It's so good. Give me a second. Let me fix the chat there. Oh no, you know what? Don't worry about the chat. All right, if it's too loud, let me know, everybody. So all I need to do is match. I just match tiles. Oh no, so there are. I'm guessing they have to be on the same level. There we go.
You can match the bird now because both birds are open. They're not enclosed by any other tiles. So we try to match the birds.
Interesting. This is my first time playing Mahjong, so I'm very excited.
Now these remaining tiles, even though the images are different, they belong to the same suit.
Right
That's
here,
kind of
these
a
two.
mark.
Oh, they both do. Okay, so they have suits.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I've got little marks in the corner to help you ascertain that they match.
Yes. Oh my god. Just the experience, the music and the UI and the sound effects are all matching together so well. Very nice. I now like Mahjong Solitaire. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. I don't even know what to do here.
It's gonna take you a few minutes to do this one, but
Yeah.
you know, it's you kind of get an eye for it. You know, if you've not played it before, you might get a little bit overwhelmed by the number of tiles on screen, but the more you play it, the more familiar you are with the patterns on the tiles, and you can get to the bottom of it.
Can I do this layer yet? Sorry that you have to teach me Mahjong.
Any that are on the edge, so
Ah, okay. I got it. Oh man, pressure's on now for me. Well, this guy is still surrounded, so I can't. Okay. Oh my god, I'm panicking a little bit. So these guys are both on the edge. No. What do I do next?
Well, what you can do is hold down the B button.
Ooh.
Press up on the D-pad and it will give you a hint. It will show you.
Ah. What a delightful package. So you can only match 2, right? I can't do like 3.
No.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
Got another one just to the right there, yeah.
And now I should match it with... Oh my god, I'm sorry. I feel so stupid. I should have prepared with some mahjong beforehand.
Choose another hint. Don't worry about that.
All right.
I mean, one of the things that Mac and I talked about is that it's a game. It's not supposed to be like a driving test or something like that. You know, it's supposed to be fun and it's supposed to be enjoyable. So if you want to use hints, use hints. If you want to...
Okay, I get it. I need to start looking for things. Matt's audio is very quiet. I can barely hear him. Okay.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah. So here's the problem with Playdate Mirror. Does not have a volume. But you know what I can do? Is I can... Hold on a second. There is a way to control various programs by the volume mixer. So I can open the volume mixer. I don't like going into this, but here we go. Ooh, that feels great. Say something, Matt.
Yo, yo, yo.
Okay, now I can think clearly, and I think chat can now think clearly and hear you clearly.
Thanks for fixing that.
Much better. So he surprised me with this today, everybody. So I wish I could have. So I can't use this one because it's covered by this one. Is that why?
Yeah.
Ah. And I can't do this one yet because it's covered by that. Oh man, I'm excited to play Mahjong, but how about these two? No, because they're covered by that, right? So I basically need to always look on the outskirts, right?
Yeah, what you can do, another option, if you bring up the menu using the simulator menu.
I thought I got
button.
one. I thought I got one. All right. Bring up menu, you said? Yep.
Yep. And then choose options.
Yep. Ooh, new layouts. Oh, look at all these stats.
So if you choose options.
Oh, this is just like Daily Driver. Look at this.
Yeah, so you can do show blocked tiles. Hey,
sorry, I'm my ADD is going off. Oh, I like elk. Show blocked tiles.
Yeah.
Ah, this will really help me learn how to play.
Exactly. So you can use any of these hints and you can make the game as challenging or not as you want it to be, or as enjoyable as you want it to be. You know, if you're then... They're actually slightly different, those two. So.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. Even with the hints, I'm failing.
Try the 3 bamboo sticks, which is on the left of the layout. There we go.
Yeah.
So now that opens up an extra tile. And
oh, this is great.
Away now.
Oh, now I'm flying.
Yeah.
This is awesome. This is so cool. So you're releasing this today? Like you're releasing it right after the stream? Anything else you want to show off in this?
So
should we? I'm listening. Sorry.
Yeah, not particularly in this game. I mean, there are other layouts, but
whoa,
it's an early access version. Mac wanted to get it out there and get some feedback before he tackles a couple of the more involved tasks. He wants to generate the layout so that they're guaranteed to be solvable. Because right now you can approach it and you can take the tiles away in a different.
Oh, dude, sold! This game is sold. Who cares about your early access? You have a playdate made of Mahjong and it's functional. Pat Katana says, take my money. Zanya Lasagna says, I so need this game. GovBub says, the polish. There's some feedback for you. This is awesome. I can't wait to play Mahjong now. And I'm so happy that you've also taught this game is teaching me how to play. Maybe I was the perfect person to first play it. This is so cool. All right, sorry. Keep talking. I'm sorry to just
It tracks all your stats. It's got a handful of layouts in this version. Only one game mode. We want to add an extra game mode. We want to add turn-based 2-player. We will have high scores in there, but only for yourself because there's no leaderboards at the moment. But it's everything I wanted of the game and more. So I'm excited to play more of it.
Oh man, yeah. And tell me about the music. Who's the composer of this?
I should know the name. It's a Japanese musician. I will look it up and post it in the Discord.
Okay, yeah. No worries. Yeah. Is this somebody you've worked with before, or are they a musician you found and just licensed?
Just found online.
Okay. Heck yeah.
We want to add more music to the game, more tile sets, more layouts.
Right.
We've spent so long. Like I spent so long drawing the tiles. When we put the game live on itch later on, you'll be able to read about the history of the game, and I show some of the early screens how I was trying to find the exact right size for the tiles. So that the layouts would all fit on the screen, and so that I'd be able to draw all of the Mahjong symbols accurately. So that was a lot of effort just in the size of the tiles.
Yeah.
Back and forth about how we could display the tiles that aren't available to use.
Right.
So I think we did about 10 different dither patterns to try and figure out the best way.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine. Man, I never think about that. Like, for me, dithering as a video creator is just like, couple button clicks. But then when you're dealing with different layers, that's going to blow my mind.
We just wanted it to be the best, and you can see where tiles are on top of each other. You can see those little kind of white specks.
Yep.
And that shows you, you can use them to judge the layout of the tiles and how many levels high they are. And there's just so many details in there that we're aware of, and we just hope that people will notice as they play it more. If you compare this to the Game Boy version or WonderSwan version or the NES version, you'll see the differences. You'll see polish and
it feels, I've never seen any of these versions, but I can definitely see this holding its own. Awesome. And this is great.
One of the things that Mac added, which is amazing from my perspective, is he wanted to add a really intelligent cursor mode where the cursor will pick the tile that you mean to select, even if it's not perfectly in alignment with where you're moving from.
Right.
So it's a really intelligent cursor control, and it requires a lot of calculations to be made whilst the game is running.
Okay.
So platforms before the Playdate, maybe they could have done it on PlayStation, maybe they could have done it on PC.
Right.
Nobody has done it. So that's like a world first.
Wow, dude, congrats.
On the NES
awesome.
and on the, it's all Mac's work. If you look at the NES and the Game Boy version, they didn't have the CPU power to do something like that.
Yeah.
So that's super cool. We've still got the traditional grid selection modes, and we've added another one where you can say, okay, only let me pick 3 tiles. So I only want the cursor to move to tiles that I can use.
Yeah.
So it's super. I think fans of puzzle games like this or solitaire games like this, they want to set it up in just the way they're comfortable with.
Yep.
which is why we've got stacks of options down the side there. So people can choose.
Whoa! Holy cow! How did
People can,
you?
these
Oh my
emoji
god!
ones are my favorite. They're the ones I play with.
Wow.
So they're kind of inspired by the original emojis on SoftBank Japanese phones.
Dang. How long did it take did you have to hand draw all of these? Oh, we got a Playdate emoji. Oh, I love it. Hold on. I'm going to take off
Yeah,
these.
I drew, yeah, I mean, it was January of last year when I drew all of these tiles. I just spent a few days drawing them all.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a Moai in there as well, which I'm obsessed with.
Oh yeah, look at him.
I needed to get a Moai in there.
Yeah. Oh, I have a different cursor mode on, don't I?
Yeah, you've got free tile cursor mode on.
Yeah. Okay. So we have some questions in chat. Vogel Script, what's up? Good to see you, by the way. Thank you for being here.
There he is.
Duncan Beavers says, did you use any shared code for Sparrow Solitaire, like Noble Engine or anything off the shelf? Is this Lua C or C+, Lua hybrid? It looks like VogelScript said the code is in Lua. No engine. We did it from scratch. I believed Matt dithered traditional Chinese paintings for the background. Awesome.
Yeah, so the paintings are from like 1500 and something.
Yeah.
The 16th century. I dithered them and redrew parts of them. I still need to I'm going to redraw all those sparrows in my style. The same style as I did for the intro.
Oh, that's awesome.
Just finding time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all Lua. I did it class-based, so it's object-oriented. I won't nerd out too much, but I just wanted to set it up in a way that the game state is kind of self-contained and the tiles each have all of their own properties. And then they can be dealt out really easy. Storing the level, the layout format was a pretty tricky thing to figure out, because not particularly on this layout, but well, maybe just on the D-pad you can see there's a couple of tiles there that are on a half position.
Half position.
Yeah, so you've got half position, that they're halfway down another tile.
Right.
So we basically store everything in rows with half-based increments to the rows.
Right.
So that's it, really.
Is this a Mario cap?
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say yes, but it's ish.
Yes. Yeah.
So
it is a Merkle cap.
There's a car that's based on my car that I drive, and
oh, really?
All sorts of stuff in there.
So why can't I select this Playdate here? Because
it's got tiles either side of it.
The side. It's the side walls. Okay, I get it now. Is this your car? Is this your car here?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh man. Awesome. Okay, what else we have? It looks like GovBub says, "Is this Mac? If so, amazing work. Is there a tutorial for learning how to match suits?" VogelScript says there's a short tutorial level, but that's it. I think for the full game, we'll have something more involved. This shows you all the suits and how they match. Oh, on Wikipedia. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because the Mahjong tiles, if you're familiar with them, it's like a deck of cards. You become familiar with them and you learn the patterns. But for me personally, I'm not familiar with them. I haven't played with them enough. So I use the emoji sets because I'm more familiar with those images. I find it easier to visually pass that layout. The Egyptian hieroglyphs, they're pretty cool to play with.
Yeah, those looked awesome. Whoops.
But the Mahjong tiles are there because, pardon me, that's the style of game it is. But personally, I don't use them.
Right. Interesting. So cool. There's this whole new world is opening up to me now.
The alphabetic ones are probably the easiest. The
I saw those
ones. So, but these are cool. I actually struggle to find enough different hieroglyphs to finish the set.
So this is something you created. This has never been done.
No.
Egyptian hieroglyphs.
Well, I mean, yeah, maybe
but
at
yeah.
the Mahjong's done, but I drew all of these and picked all of the hieroglyphs.
Super
Basically,
rad.
what would work at a low resolution.
Yeah.
I ended up in the Unicode Egyptian hieroglyphic section of the Unicode character set.
Yeah.
To see, to look at all of the hieroglyphs in one place.
Right.
And then to draw them at such a small size is, you kind of get into a groove. I kind of get into a pattern, especially when I'm creating fonts as well. I create certain characters first, and then it kind of gets me in the zone, and I'm away. So when I was creating these, I just got into the groove, and you kind of get an idea of scale, and you get an idea of what works, what shape works, how to approach curves and straight lines, and so they were really fun to create. And when I was at school in my primary school days, I wanted to be an archaeologist. Probably watched. Oh,
I love that. Yeah.
So it was kind of fun to do all of these. Yeah, there's a bunch of sets, and if you've got any ideas for extra sets, I won't promise to draw them all, but I'm open to drawing extra sets.
We should do if we were prepared, we could have done a chat contest for everybody to put their favorite idea of tile sets in. I don't know if you're prepared for something like that, though.
No, I'm not. I mean, we've still got one idea for a chat contest, haven't we, that we can talk about later on?
Do you want to talk about that now, or you want to talk about another? Okay.
So out of this game, when I was doing the launch card, I was laying it out in A sprite.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, I can continue doing this, or I can maybe program the animation, which is what I'm more comfortable doing.
Okay.
So I took an afternoon and programmed a little animation tool. And then I thought, well, this is sweet. This will work for animations that people can use in games. So I'm going to build that out into a little app. But I don't have a name for it yet. So that could be a nice little chat contest where people can think about what I should call my animation tool.
Ooh, I like that. All right.
What it's called at the moment is Animator.
Okay.
Because
let's do this.
I just called it what it was.
Let's go for it. While I create a quick Google Doc, let me read from chat. Duncan Beavers says, I love the different tile sets. Pick, Pack, Pup, put that to great use too. Same mechanic, different flavor. Yeah, great game. Zanya Lasagna, what's going on? Seeing games like this keep pushing me to continue working hard on my project. Yeah. Heck yeah. Duncan Beaver says sharing tile sets and custom layouts would be great. All right.
It's because layouts, tile sets, and backgrounds. I don't know if we're going to do custom tile sets, but custom backgrounds and custom layouts are definitely something that we've added kind of capability to load in your own into the data store folder.
Yeah. All right. Let's name.
Music.
Oh wait, hold on. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Music and backgrounds, I think it was. I'd have to check.
Yeah. All right. I am almost prepared here. I already have a great name for the contest. Let me get it in here though before I throw it up on screen. Anything else you want to say about your game before we start? Anything you want to say about Sparrow Solitaire before we move over to your animator?
Not really. I mean, it's just, I hope you have fun with it. It's just a fun game.
Heck yeah. So tell us a little bit more about the animator app, and so we can, start formulating our ideas.
So the animator, a lot of it's hard coded at the moment. The animations run for the whole length of the animation. You can't have different animations for part of the full animation, but that's what I'm going to be adding soon. You're going to be able to set load a lot of images in through the data folder. Then you can pick which ones are visible using a list view. You'll then be able to set start and end positions. You can adjust their position every frame, or you can get
Can
it
I
to
pull up
move.
those tweets that you had?
Yeah, please.
Let me do that, because I think that'll help us once we have a visual on it. You sent those to me in Discord, was it?
Discord. Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that. You're gonna see our private conversations now. So private.
There's a really good question from GovBubs there. How much is it? It's going to be $10, but with a 20% discount whilst we're in the pre-order phase. And we figured out a way on itch of rolling in the pre-order version of the game into the full version, so you won't. You'll just get the full version when it. It's been a bit of a nightmare trying to figure out the best way to do this on itch, and me and Mac have spent long hours on Discord private chat trying to figure out the best way to do this. We think we've come up with something, so you'll see it after the stream is finished, and hopefully other people can release their games that way as well.
Very cool. All right, so I'm going to let's get this contest rolling here. So here you go. I think. Oh, let me get this GIF loaded. I have so much loaded on my computer right now. Give me a sec. Let's do this. So we got some music back, and oh, where did that tweet go? Here it is. So here we go. So onion skin.
That shows you the previous and next frames of the animation, so you can adjust position in between.
Look at that.
States. I mean, this was just after I got it all working, so I've actually got onion skin working a lot better now, and in the simulator it actually looks like transparent versions of the sprites. On the device it still does them in this kind of way. So I'm just stepping through the animation. I'm moving the bird to a new position. It automatically advances the frame of the bird, but that will all be under control. There's a button combination that you can do to change the frame of the bird, but it automatically advances in this version.
And who are the people that will benefit from this app the most?
The developers who want to do a really cool launch card for their game. I think I'd like to see more animated launch cards and animated transitions from the launch card into the game. I think it's one of Playdate's unique features and should be used more than it is at the moment. I know that there was a game with a UFO and a logo on its title screen, and I mentioned to the developer that it would be really easy to do that transition. So they took that to heart and did a simple transition. But with this animator, you can make crazy mad transitions like we've done for Solitaire.
All right.
And I'll release some source code with it as well in Lua, to be able to use those animations in the middle of your game if you should wish, as like a cutscene or a background animation or whatever. So that will be possible.
Wow. All right. Well, this all sounds amazing.
Maybe it's just someone who wants to make an animation. You know, maybe they wanna animate a little funny scene for their friends that they're not interested in it being in a game at all. They just want to make an animation.
Oh.
So I want it to be really easy to use, which it is at the moment. I want to add a few more options to make it possible to do more advanced things, like maybe resizing sprites. So you can add squash and stretch and things like that. So, you know, I don't want to get ahead of myself. It's not going to be the next Adobe Flash or Macromedia Flash. But it's just a cool little tool to make animations with. Right.
Awesome. Well,
but what should we call it? That's the problem.
But what should we call it?
couple of good
Name Matt's
yeah.
app is what we're going to do right now, everybody. Name Matt's app. So I'm going to give everybody in chat two options. We have about 20, 30 people in and out of here right now. But it looks like we have, I think 2 is a good amount. So everybody right now in chat, give me 2 ideas of what you think we should name this animator app. You've seen what it can do. You've heard a couple buzzwords in there. The creativity is now in your court. Also, let's give a warm welcome to Stefan Rewind in chat, another Playdate celebrity stopping by. Hello, hello. Is it Stefan or Steven? I just want to make sure I'm pronouncing it correctly. Welcome. I don't know if we've ever chatted in here before. Glad you're here. All right, everybody. 2 suggestions of what we're going to name this in chat right now. Your final look of it right here. This is the app. It's got onion skin. It's got other cool stuff. You've heard everything he said. Give me your suggestions. You could be the winner of this app's name. Ta-da! Bubs, Duncan Beavers, Zanya Lasagna, Vogel. You can even jump in there. Knock those heads together and start giving me some ideas in chat. While they do this, I'm going to talk with you, Matt. We have like 30 minutes left. Do you want to do your wall of inspiration after this?
Let's do it, yeah.
Yeah? All right.
Do I do it now while people are thinking up ideas?
Well, they won't be able to see you very well because you're down there in the bottom. Actually, you know what? I think we can do that. Duncan, I'm going to take your first suggestion of kinematograph. Let's see what a kinematograph is. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Cinematograph or kinematography is how I would say it, but I can't say it as a solo graph. The very first movie camera. That's nice. It's a good suggestion.
That is a good suggestion.
Yeah.
It's got my name in the middle of it, which gives it a plus.
Oh,
but
all right.
It's quite long and difficult to say as well. So
that would be a long title. Kinematograph. There we go.
Tricky.
Hand crank 2 says Gov Bubs. Bubs, give me some names. All right, why don't we start while they're thinking of suggestions? Why don't we switch over to your wall of inspiration? Mm-hmm. Inspiration. Ooh, there's a good one. Gov Bub says Matograph. I like that.
So let me just switch back to.
Ooh.
Basically, this was my bookshelf, and then I started adding stuff to it that kind of. So I've got my little Hanafuda section here. I've got my cards and my games and a few books. There we go. And then down here, I've got like game guides for my favorite Nintendo games. They're in Japanese. Then some game history books.
Ooh, can you pull one of those out? Pull out a game history book.
This is the best one. So let's see how I can do this. It's called TV Game Encyclopedia, and it's from 1984.
What?
And it comes in this slipcase. The production and design of the book is astonishing, really. Wow. And what's cool about it is it's ring bound. And as you get into it, you've got lots of cool paper techniques. You've got gatefold.
Wow.
And then as you go in, the internet didn't.
Yeah, what year is this?
It's 1984. So each page is split into 3. And you can
Oh my god, that's so cool.
So these are game reviews or game summaries before Wikipedia was even a twinkle in anyone's eye. And then the middle section is developers and game development companies.
Wow.
And then the top one is kind of high-level concepts. I mean, it's all in Japanese, but I use apps, Google Translate, to read it.
Right.
But this, because it's so old and to get one in good condition is quite tricky. But they do come up for sale quite often in Japan.
Awesome.
So probably now that I've shown this, they'll all sell out as well. But it's such an amazing book on game history up until 1984. So all the arcade greats are in there. Interviews with developers who've never done an interview since. Mm-hmm. You know, so there's some really good insights there. This book was the reason that Mizuguchi, the developer of Rez, became a game developer.
Whoa! No way! How did you find that out?
He mentioned it in an interview. He mentioned it.
Wow! Is that what made you find this book?
No, I found it.
You were OG. You found it before he did.
No. I'm into old Macintosh software.
Yeah.
And one of the old Mac developers is on Twitter, and I just struck up a friendship with them.
So cool.
And he said, "Oh, have you heard of this book?" And I said, "No." So he sent me just some photos of it, and I said, "Oh, I've got to track this down." It was only when I've got like a half-written blog post about that book.
Right.
It was then that I found the interview that Mizuguchi had mentioned it in. He was doing an interview at one of the Japanese game magazines, and he mentioned that book, and they said, "Oh, we've got a copy in our library." Mm-hmm. So they went and got a copy out of their office library and showed it to him, and he was just like,
so cool.
I remember it. I remember all of this, and this is the reason I'm a game developer.
Dang, that's awesome.
Kind of crazy. Yeah.
All right, what else you got on that beautiful wall?
I got a lot of old Japanese Macintosh magazines. I've got some of my favorite Mega Drive games. They're like the coolest.
Okay, so Mega Drive was my first console. So, and I already do not know any of these games.
So these are just golf games. I'm obsessed with golf games, and
why not? You're on the right console for it, that's for sure.
They're the best. They're the best golf games, and they have the best artwork.
I gotta play those. So many good nostalgic memories from Master Drive.
This is a PlayStation game, and again, it's Japanese.
Is that a lunar lander?
Well, you could make your own vehicles using a kind of Lego or Meccano-like system.
Okay.
And you would make the vehicle, and then you could drive around an open world.
Uh-huh.
And there were a few goals that you needed to do, but basically it was find new parts, build new vehicles, and then you could fly or sail to the
I want to see
island.
that in action. Do you know the name that I can write in English?
Yeah, it's Panakit.
Panakit? K-I-T? Or Kip?
Yeah. K-I-T.
K-I-T-P-S.
And this is another game by Kuniaki Watanabe.
No way. That's your homie.
Yeah. This was his first game on console. So that was for PlayStation.
And you said P-A-N-A-K-I-T?
P-A-N-E-K-I-T.
Panakit, I put PS1. Oh, here we go. Ooh, yeah. All right, cool. I'm throwing it up right now while you... Well, you can continue, though, if you want. Oh, look at this. This is so cool.
So this is super, super cool. And probably, I think it was 1998 or 1999 that came out. So it was one of the first open world games on PlayStation.
Wow.
It's amazing. It's amazing. it didn't do very well. I think it was quite difficult for people to get the concept of there kind of not being any traditional game.
Right.
You know, it's like you just kind of made your own fun to a degree.
Yeah, maybe it was
And
just
then
too ahead of its time. Like
yeah,
people needed their
they
hands held a
re-released
little
it
more back then.
on they re-released it on the PlayStation Network, and it was only then that it did it sell enough to actually pay for
Wow,
itself.
interesting.
So it actually broke even after being on PlayStation Network.
Oh man.
But yeah, he's making a cart here. They have different tiles have different properties, so you can add an engine or a rocket or a jet engine.
Right.
You can make them fold. You can make them transform.
Wow. So cool.
And if you want to just build cool stuff, then you can do that. I just play it with the vehicles that you unlock along the way,
Right.
and I just play it more as an exploration game. But there's so much cool stuff, like that little gold box that would unlock some extra parts.
Ah, cool. Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And you can build a craft, and if it's not physically correct, it won't fly. If the wings aren't long enough, it won't fly. So it's pretty accurate in terms of real life.
Nice. All right, we have 10 minutes left, just so you know.
Okay. So we've got Pang.
Oh
This is the
yeah.
DS version of Pang. This is the single greatest game of all time. No question.
Oh my god. I need to check this out.
Because it takes the concept that's kind of age old. There have been many different versions of Pang. It puts it onto 2 screens for the DS, and the level design is second to none. If you play it through from start to finish, it's a very difficult game, but if you play it through, the progression of levels is so perfect. It's unbelievable. Just blows my mind. I should play it again.
Oh man. All right. That is
any
game that you say is the greatest of all time is I have to play.
It's unbelievable. I just can't really put into words how good that game is, simply because of the level design. Whoever designed those levels, I should really know, but they are on top of their game. They really
Do I have
are.
the right version? Is this the right version?
Yeah, this is it.
Nice. What other what other DS games are your favorite that you can remember?
There's one called Sideswiped, which is a driving game.
Okay.
That is kind of crazy fast game where you're driving and getting crashed into by lots of police cars, and there we go, that's the top one. One of the levels, you have to earn enough points by destroying other cars, and the best way to do that is to get a car in front of you like a bowling ball and blast it through all of the other cars.
Oh man.
What we're looking at now is one of the other game modes that's kind of like last man standing demolition derby.
That was one of my first PlayStation games ever, PS1 games, was Demolition Derby. And I just remember being so incredibly blown away that I could just cause destruction.
But this game runs on DS. It's 3D. It's 60 frames a second. It's really fun. It's quite hard to find, sadly. There's a Japanese version and there's an American version, but there was never a European version as far as I'm aware.
Right.
But it's just get from A to B as fast as possible. It's kind of like Need for Speed or...
Right.
But it doesn't take itself seriously.
It looks good too, though. It looks
physics.
great.
I mean, you just seen that car blast off up into the air. The physics are like nothing else. It's it really is a lot of fun.
Awesome.
And again, it kind of goes on a little bit too long. It doesn't add anything new in the latter half of the game, but the first half is just brilliant.
I love it.
So
I need to dig out my my DSs. All right, we have the contest to wrap up, and so we have 5 minutes left on your wall. Why don't you show us one or two more things, and then we'll wrap the contest up, and then we'll call it a night. Unfortunately,
I got a lot of game guides. I've also got some odd books like World Heritage. I always use that to just read world history and figure out scenarios for games.
Look for Egyptian hieroglyphics, perhaps.
Perhaps. And then history of Nintendo.
Yes.
I'm a Nintendo guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all there. I just need everything here to...
Is that a Playdate on your top shelf or something else?
That's...
the classic.
Pocket.
Yeah. Is your favorite yellow Game Boy the... Oh, you got a yellow 3DS?
It's a DSi.
Oh, DSi. Is that custom or is that how they came?
No, it's not custom. It came out, I think mine was originally from the Netherlands.
Whoa.
I couldn't find one in the UK, but yeah, it was available.
Did you get that before you discovered the Playdate? You were already into the yellow?
I've had that.
Oh, man.
I've had that like 15
The Playdate was made for you. I think they were somebody met you and just downloaded you.
It kind of feels that way because of all of the stuff I'm into. Just end up on that one.
It's all adding up. It's all adding up.
Kind of crazy, really.
Just need a few more racing
I've been
games.
having a hell of a lot of fun developing for it.
100%. Oh man, give us a quick tease. Let's end on this. Give us a quick tease of another project you're working on, and what we can or cannot expect from it.
So what I was working on before I started helping Mac out with more graphics for Sparrow Solitaire was I call it my space game. I don't know if it's going to be a shoot 'em up. It's more like a collect 'em up in a way.
Okay.
My code name for that, I always have like code names. I always want to refer to my games as something.
Yeah.
As soon as I start to create them, and that one's called Cosmic Trash.
Cosmic Trash.
And it's kind of inspired by Tempest, but it won't be Tempest because again, I don't think there's any point in making the greatest games over and over again. But it will take the idea of the level structure of the web.
Yep.
And I'll do something new with it.
Oh man! When can we expect to see anything on Cosmic Trash?
There's a couple of tweets with me getting the levels drawing properly.
Right.
Once, I think we're gonna have like a week's break from Sparrow Solitaire.
Okay.
Right now, just so we don't kind of burn out.
Yes.
I'm gonna jump into the animator and I'm gonna jump into Space Game.
Awesome.
Cosmic Trash to try and figure that out. I kind of like the idea of picking up space debris.
Yeah. There's a lot of it out there. And a Tesla.
Well, apparently so.
There's a Tesla. Can that be the final boss, like a huge car with a spaceman in it?
With a spaceman in it, yeah.
Yeah. And the spaceman gets out. He's like the mini boss. Once you defeat the spaceman, you got to defeat the car.
Yeah, maybe all the trash that you've collected, you can fire it into his mouth.
Oh, that'd be so great.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So that's kind of half decided on that name. I kind of like the concept of collecting space trash.
Yeah.
So you won't shoot it because I don't really like games where you shoot things. I'm not really. I think there's too many guns in the world.
Right. I agree.
So I want to do like some kind of tractor beam style vaporizer or whatever, you know.
Controlled by the crank, perhaps.
Yeah, and I went to one of the local arcades. I say local; it's like 2 hours drive from where I live. so I could play Tempest, an original 1981 arcade cabinet.
That's awesome.
And it worked for an hour, and then it broke whilst I was playing.
No, well, you got that hour.
Yeah.
To make up, you just need one more hour to make up for the car ride.
Yeah. It's interesting because the control mechanism on that is like a spinner,
Yeah.
like a hi-fi volume. But I didn't know what it felt like to play it. So my goal there was to use this thing and kind of internalize how it feels to control that game.
Right.
So I can try to reproduce it using the crank.
I love it.
And if you'd have asked me to describe how I thought it would control, I would have been completely wrong. I could never have described how that felt because I assumed it would map directly to the angle where the player was, but it doesn't. It kind of adds momentum to your character. So I think I should be able to emulate that in Playdate with the crank. But it was just it just blew my mind. It was completely different than I'd expected it to be.
All right. Well, cool.
So, yeah.
How about that?
And that's it.
I have a hard out in 5 minutes. I'm so sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get
We
this
got any more
contest.
names?
Let's do this. We do. We have. Oop. Let me shrink this down a bit because we're getting it cut off here. Let's go.
There's a question from GovBubs there.
Yeah,
Have I
hit
had
it.
Any interest from Panic to support Daily Driver? I mean, I've done the same as everybody else. I've submitted it on the pitch form.
Oh, great. That's good to hear. That's great news.
That's all I've done.
Nice. All right. Well, here are your suggestions. We got from Duncan Beavers, Kinematograph.
Mm-hmm.
Duncan Beavers also suggested Flying Onions, which immediately sounds very, very exciting for an animation app. I would be very curious. Gov Bubs with one suggestion, Matograph. Like that. Love it.
I like that.
Zanya Lasagna. Shoganimator. Holy shiz. That is a bad arse name. Shoga is ginger in Japanese. Oh my god, Gingerbeardman. Oh, cool. Blowing my mind, Zanya. Oh god, that's awesome.
I like Sprite Studio. That's cool.
So yeah. All right,
and
let me keep reading these.
That because I'm working with Mac at the moment, but I do like that.
Yep.
Launch kit. I'm not so keen on that one.
Not so keen. Vogel script. Get back to the books. Stink says app peelin'. Oh, like an onion. Peeling an onion. Kucromi. So you can do Sprite lay out with onion skinning in the app? ? How about Onilay? Onilay.
That sounds like some kind of bathroom product, maybe, or some kind of moisturizing cream.
I love it.
Yeah.
Or frame date. Ooh.
That's not a bad one.
Very Playdate centric. All right, you have the ultimate tough decision. Let me finally read. Animator app reminds me of Flipnote for DSi, says VogelScript. GovBubs. No background chats. I don't know what that means because my brain is fried. Lasagna posted a picture of me. All right. You got you got to make a decision. What is this app going to be called, my friend?
I think it's going to be called Sprite Studio.
Oh, Sprite Studio. Yep. It is done. Sprite Studio is the winner. Vogel Script, congratulations.
Does that have a B-day? No.
A bidet.
I do want a Japanese style bath. That's one thing I want in my house. Nice. You kind of sit in it on a little shelf. Yeah.
I have a bidet, just so you know. I ordered one on Amazon. One of those plug-in bidets. Now you all know. There you go. I'm trying to convince my wife, says GovBubs. Yeah, you can all imagine where I get most of my Playdate done. I come away clean. Too much information right at the end of the show. Terrible. Matt, thank you so much for being here. I'm glad we finally got it done. Even better, you surprised me today with a game reveal. I had no idea this was going to happen. Congratulations on your launch. This is huge. You're launching right now, right? Or more or
Thanks.
less?
Yeah, I think Max got to click the button right now.
Oh, dang. You want to post that link in chat, Vogel? Or is it on... Whose itch page is it on?
It's on Max, on VogelScript.
Okay.
Page.
So let me find that route. There it is. Boom. I'm going to go here. I'm on his page. Boom. I don't see it yet, but I'm going to post.
This has been so much fun.
Yeah, I wish we
enjoyed
had more time. I have a strict in and out with my family. they let me have this much time. But so we're going to find it on VogelScript's itch page soon, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you for everything. Let's please do this again. We still have so much to talk about. Thank you again and again. Congratulations to both of you on finishing this. You made a new Mahjong player out of me, and I'm actually genuinely excited to play it and now go show my wife and ask if she's ever played. And my family, the rest of my family. I'm here with my parents right now. I'm going to show them as well.
Yeah.
Zanya said it's live. Going to do a refresh. Boom! There it is.
Boom.
Sparrow Solitaire. Heck yeah. Congratulations to you two. Matt, thank you again.
Thanks.
Let's keep talking. And thank you for making the Playdate community a wonderful place and pushing it forward.
Keep gaming, everybody.
Heck yeah. Real quick.
All right.
Nobody run away. I'm going to see if there's any Playdaters we can raid or send the crowd to. Let's see. We have... Oh, we do! We have somebody playing Playdate on Twitch. It's such a surprise. Oh my gosh. I'm so happy to find somebody. Muted Star is playing... I don't know what they're playing. There's a cat sprite. Let's go say hi to Muted Star. Everybody, I don't know. Tiny, I don't know what to say. When you arrive, just say hello and that we're so happy that we're here. Anyway, goodbye, everybody. Matt, thank you so much. You're the best. Here we go. Cheers. 20 viewers to Muted Star. Boom. And they are sent. And I'm going to click stop streaming.